Hi, I'm Jay Skinner. I want to welcome you to the pre-show of the Buyers and Sellers Show. So today we're going to talk about some things that just really get on us, all of us. It said whack-a-mole may be a fact of life, so just get good at it. And we're live. Hi, I'm Jay Skinner, and this is the Buyers and Sellers Show. So happy that you came today. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to have some fun, and we start every Friday morning at 10:35 Eastern Time, and you're here. And always start a little bit early and play a song and wait for people to get on. Some of the things to remember are the silver rule: do unto your vendors as you want your customers to do unto you. Think about that. Why do we call this the Buyers and Sellers Show? Well, the biggest reason is we're all buyers and sellers, depending upon where we are in the transaction. A lot of times people are buying and then selling, they're doing both. But are we all buyers and sellers? Those of you that are out there that are married, tell me you're not a seller, or a buyer, And those of you that are out there in business, if you're selling something, someone had to buy it in order to get it sold. And if you're a manufacturer, don't you buy those parts, those pieces to go into your manufacturing? So that's the silver rule. Here's another one I want you to think about. And I just had a guy tell me the other day that this really impacted him as well. And that's the green rule. Do for yourself what you're asking others to pay you to do for them. See, now that's interesting. Do for yourself what you're asking others to pay you to do for them. So, we talk about the cobbler without shoes. How about if you don't have a website and that's not organized right now, maybe you need to be doing for yourself what you're telling other people they ought to do for themselves. Or whatever it is, make sure that you're practicing what you preach. Today, this whole idea of whack-a-mole might be a fact of life, so just get good at it. There seems to be a theme in my shows here starting the year out about real life topics. Like I think last week was don't say retire. You can only play so much pickleball. I would encourage you to get on the YouTube playlist and see what we're talking about there. But I want to show you now what whack-a-mole is in case you don't know. First of all, here is a picture of a whack-a-mole machine right there. See that right there? I grew up with those in arcades. You've probably seen one too. That's a whack-a-mole machine. Here's a side view of the guy doing it right there. Look at that. So let's watch a quick clip here of somebody doing some whack-a-mole. Here we go. I'll give you that chance. In fact, I'm going to do this. This. go. Bam. Of course, I'll end up on the screen. It's funny sometimes. You get online and say, there you go. And not say that over there. You haven't seen that. You may recognize. Oh, that, let's watch this together. Oh yeah. So who's played whack-a-mole before? If you remember whack-a-mole, sure, say something there. If that's something you remember. The the whole idea of it, it kind of makes me wonder is it a training device for overcoming frustration and dealing with what comes in life. Whack-a-mole's always been one of those metaphors to me about how many times have you found yourself doing this? But, I say in life, there's these continuous situations where one mole and another one pops up, another one, another one, and I think we just need to recognize that that's in life. An example of a whack-a-mole situation was going to the airlines, going to the airport, and some of you probably experienced some of the frustration over just the last couple of days where the airline had shut down a number of flight delays. It was 100%. And then remember over Christmas, we had some real problems over that. They're working through this in the transportation community. It doesn't make any sense at all to get all upset because it's almost predictable. What I want to tell you is it's pretty predictable in general. Always predictable. So what we're going to do today is we're going to smile and we're going to accept the things we cannot change. Change the things we cannot accept. And hopefully have the wisdom to know the difference. And some of you may recognize that. That's a paraphrase of part of what they call the Sunan. So God grant me the strength to accept the things that cannot change. Change the things that cannot accept. And the wisdom to know the difference. And part of this getting started in this radio, 13 days into January, and you may be listening to this totally different time, but the message still applies. So let's think about it. Recognizing that whack-a-mole being something in life. If you can get on here and say, never happened to me, I control the problems, they can never control me, never gets into me, it's never mentioned. Oh, thanks. I just got a notice from someone that there's a problem with my audio and a buzzing noise. Very interesting. Unusual. Let's see if I can fix that. Good morning. There. I see that too. John Godwin, thank you for coming as well. And Brian, thank you. So let's see if I can fix that. We're gonna do a quick disconnect. Settings, audio, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. So the question um, is it better now? Is it better now? Let me know. Automatic off that. Testing 1 2 3. Are you getting me? I have a feeling you're not. I'm gonna change to the right. Boom. There's a better one. How about that? You should be able to hear me now. So, if someone confirm here that the audio is okay, that'll be good. And I hope you were able to get a little bit of it off the beginning. If not, I'll listen to the replay and I may redo this show. Here's the issues. And let me know if this is better now, please. Yeah, John says much better. Thank you. Thank you very much. There we go. So, can you engineer, organize, control, or script the situation so it doesn't happen? And I'm saying, no, you can't. When you're playing whack-a-mole and you're playing and you're in life, if you think that somehow you can organize yourself, engineer yourself into not having these situations and being in total control of everything all the time, well, I think that's just not going to happen. What do you think? There's another comment. Let's see. Hello, Kadzo. Good. Welcome. Glad you're here. And Kadzo, I think you're from Ghana, part of my friends in Africa. Good to see you. Glad you're here, Kadzo. Thank you for coming. And so what do? Here's some steps. Got a few steps for you to think about when you're dealing with the whack-a-moles in your own life. And number one is recognize that not everything can be in your control. I mean, if that's a surprise to you, then I guess I'd be the first guy. And good. And Kadzo says, if audio is fine, super glad it's coming through there. I'm glad it's sounding good to you right now. Thank you very much for the feedback. Let's see, there we go. And I'll go back to this. Number one, recognize not everything can be in your control. That whack-a-mole game, you hit one, you don't know where it's going to pop up again, but it seems to me in life that they always pop up, don't you think? Number two, recognize that what you can control is your reactions. You can control your reaction to the situation. When that mole pops up, well, what can you control? Aha. So I hear that there's still some buzzing going on in the background. So let me see what I knock that completely out. Maybe I get lucky and do those settings. Audio. Go back to auto adjust here, see if that does some good for me as well. We'll just keep making adjustments and see if it gets any better. So, my friend Brian is texting me as well. He says, perfect. That sounds great. Something weird was happening in the background over there. So see how it goes. Anyway, I have another rule too. See, that's the moles popping up. That is an example of the moles popping up that you're popping away at. Totally unexpected. I'm a computer guy. I try not to have these problems. And I turn off all the background programs and everything else and practice and get ready. And what happens? It's like there's buzzing. And my audio isn't so good or whatever. And like I said, if I have to redo this broadcast later, I will just redo the broadcast, and y'all can come on for a second time if you like. It'll be wonderful. But I want quality product to get out there. So I'll see how it is. The point is that
I can only control my reaction, which in the case of a show like this is just try to fix it and see what I can do. See, we got some things, and Brian, I want to thank you very much for jumping in there and commenting. I'm glad it sounds good, and we're in good shape now. Awesome, wonderful, and um, let's look at the number 3. Relax and be calm in the room. Well, when those moles popped up here today with me, I hope I looked pretty calm. Just got it together. Kept talking, got the job done. When the moles pop up for you, how are you reacting? I'll tell you what, I have a past. And I used to justify extreme reactions to situation to show that I was being responsive to problems. And what I found out, and it took some years and time, was that a extreme reaction did not give the other people in the room peace of mind about how you might handle it. Now, inside, you may go, oh no, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is terrible. These moles are popping up. I hit this one down, the next one pops up, next one pops up. But the people that are following you, listening, watching, part of the whatever it is you're doing, or the people that are even giving you the moles and the problems that are causing you distress, are going to feel like your response that's more metered and more calm, more well thought out, is way better than the opposite. So I went through some learning about that. And generally speaking, I follow my own advice in that area. So that's what I would suggest. Relax and be calm in a room. Number 4, move towards the solutions one step at a time in a deliberate fashion. So just think about that. Just think about that. One step at a time, and the problem comes along. If multiple problems are coming along, pick the worst one and go after it. Mitigate the overall situation to the best of your ability, and then start banging away at the problems in a deliberate way, because you already know, even after they're all gone, more are going to pop up. I'm not being negative. It just seems to be that, well, let's see, the Bible says that the rain falls on the just and the unjust alike. Well, those of you that are getting rain in California think, that's too much rain. It's a curse. It's terrible. Those of you getting rain in the fields of a drought in Minnesota or Indiana say it's a blessing. The rains can be a blessing. They can be a curse, but the rains fall on everyone. And then at the same time, God gives you the ability to deal with it. And that's what I'm doing here, is to help you think about how to deal with some of these moles or these situations that come along. Now, some how-tos, some real good how-tos. Don't let the emergency feeling atmosphere and hair on fire reactions of those around you take over your actions and words. Think first, then act. Let that sink in. Because when the moles start coming up, oftentimes you're in a group, you're around people, hair's on fire, it's an emergency, the world's coming to an end. Remember, the sky is falling. I get it. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, this is a disaster. But the best reaction is think first. So you say, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. What helps make this doable for you? Think about this. Here we go. Oh, I see a comment here. Let's see what someone says here. It's my friend from Turkey. Extreme Converting. And this is Tanner Kurbas. I think I said. Tanner is my friend. It's this great company. And Extreme Converting, he delivers these great rings that go on the winds and unwinds of machines that process rolls, and does the friction rings. And it's great. He's an expert at that. Glad you're here, Tanner. Okay, here we go. What makes this all doable for you? How-tos. Stop. When the mole pops up, or multiple moles, be quiet and breathe. Has anybody ever told you that? Just breathe. No fast email replies, or at least don't send it. You may have to type something out that's on your mind as soon as you get it, but please don't hit send. And when you can, it makes sense. I think oftentimes seek the counsel of others outside of the problem or the event for advice. Make sure you got trusted advisor friends that you share with one another about situations, and they help you. I've got friends like that. Hopefully you do. If you don't, develop a network of some friends that you can talk to. Here's another one. If it requires an immediate response, then take these steps faster. It's like stop quicker, breathe quicker, and get on it. I know that people like emergency medical people and first responders go into autopilot and they can respond beautifully and immediately because of their training and their experience. And that's what they have to do. There will be certain times where you have to respond based upon your immediate reaction that you know is the right one, and it's like, go for it. It'll be beautiful. But that's unusual in most business situations and life experience. Most moles can wait for your response to be well thought out and metered. Now, if you don't see yourself as a slow metered response type of person, then join the crowd. You know I'm excitable, energetic, lots of stuff going on. I'm going to solve the problems and make things happen. And I'm always encouraging people to get out there, get going, do it. And when the moles pop up, I want to fix them right now. What I want to encourage you to do is what we just talked about today. Stop, assess the situation. Okay, look at it. Okay, what's going on? Make sure you understand it. What Stephen Covey said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. When it comes to responses to problems, to moles, to issues that come up like this, seek first to understand sometimes where it's coming from and what that sentence means that came to you out of the clear blue sky. And then here's the last thing, and I didn't type it in here as a banner, but man, be direct. Be direct in your response. Save that and put it right there. Direct means answer the question. If it's a question that's kind of rooted in a problem, and maybe you did something or didn't do something, or things are happening and questions are coming to you, be direct and make sure at the very beginning of whatever it is you're explaining or reacting to that you give the very pointed and poignant answer in one sentence directly, so that it doesn't look at all like you're trying to skirt around it, you're dancing around the issue, you're trying to make excuses. Take responsibility for whatever's going on with you. And if you're part of the problem, just acknowledge it. Yep, I wish that would have happened differently. Here's where we are now. Here's what I'm going to do about it. Boom. Probably the worst time to use the words we is when you're having a problem or a problem's coming up that you're involved in, and you're trying to get people around you to take responsibility for something that's your responsibility. Quite frankly, if it's not fully your responsibility and other people are to blame, you'll do far better taking it on yourself and let people say, well, it's not really all his fault, than for you to try to pass out blame and share it and somehow get away from it. I mean, that whole idea of taking on the problems, the sins, we talk about the sins of the world, what Jesus did. when he was crucified on the cross. Sinless guy. He never did anything wrong, but he took that on to save us. And you got to understand that if you take on that kind of feeling, that even if you don't feel fully responsible for these problems and you take it on, it's only going to help you. It's only going to be best for the conversation. And it's going to kind of relieve a lot of tension and let a lot of steam out of the situation, which is what you want, to try to de-escalate things when problems come your way. So I got some comments here. Sharon's coming on and she says, good morning. And I know that Sharon goes online live for her business every single day and has for years now. And today will be 1,193, day 1,193. That's SharonHoffmeister.com. That's her business. Go see her, look her up, find her on Facebook. Love you, Sharon. And I'm proud of you that you continue to do this and show up live. Good for you. Anyway, let's see what we got here. And Tanner's telling me this. He says, keep calm and survey your around. See what's happening around you and what you are doing. Then decide what you should do and be extremely adaptive. Absolutely. Thank you very much for those words of wisdom, Tanner. And there's Tom Ginn. Welcome here. You're saying awesome. Glad you love it. Glad you're here, Tom. Really appreciate your jumping in here. So everybody, I want to say thank you so much for coming, for listening to this. If you have any last comments, just understand if I miss them before I end the show, it's just because these things are delayed like 10 or 15 seconds sometimes. So sometimes I see your comment after we've ended the show. In the meantime, think about these things that we talked about today. Think about that whack-a-mole game that we consider as a fact of life, and get used to it. If you're not, watch your reactions and actions. And when you accept the fact that you can't really control all this stuff that's coming at you from many different places, many different things, then what you can do is control your actions and reactions and help make it better, diffuse the situations, and be direct. This talk today is for you in overcoming frustration and dealing with what really amounts to the facts of life. I hope you enjoyed this show. I hope you got something out of it. I'm here to serve. I share my information here. Is my phone number, my email, my website. Whatever you need, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. And now I want to say thank you. Have a beautiful day. I'll be back next Friday, same time, same channel, at the Buyers and Sellers Show. I'm Jay Skinner, and I'm so happy you came. See you later. Bye now. Ain't she sweet? See her coming down the street. Now I ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice. Now I ask you very confidentially, ain't she nice? And you're nice. Glad you came. See you next week. Bye now.